Today, we are excited to share how our advances in AI are enabling us to understand the world more deeply than ever before, opening up helpful experiences for you across Google Search, Maps, Shopping, and Photos. Let's start with search. 20 years ago, Google was just 10 blue links, connecting people to the information they needed from the millions of web pages out there. Since then, we've continued to innovate to understand new forms of information like images, videos, places, and more. All of this is in pursuit of our mission to make information accessible and useful. As Sundar mentioned, early research with Lambda and multimodality is pushing the boundaries of natural language understanding. And today, I'm excited to share how we'll be bringing some of these research advances to Google Search with our Multitask Unified Model, or MUM, as we like to call it. Like BERT, it's built on the transformer architecture, but it turns up the dial. You see, MUM is 1,000 times more powerful than BERT. But what makes this technology groundbreaking is its ability to multitask in order to unlock information in new ways. Here are a few tasks it can handle at the same time. It can acquire deep knowledge of the world. It can understand language and generate it too. It can train across 75 languages at once, unlike most AI models, which train on one language at a time. And then, what makes MUM even more amazing is that it's multimodal, which means it can simultaneously understand different forms of information, like text, images, and videos. We've already started some internal pilots to see the types of queries it might be able to solve and the billions of topics it might help you explore. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you're an avid hiker planning your next adventure. You might ask, I've hiked Mount Adams and now want to hike Mount Fuji next fall. What should I do differently to prepare? This is a question you could casually ask a friend, but search engines today can't answer it directly because it's so conversational and nuanced. MUM is changing the game. With its language understanding capabilities, it would know you're looking to compare two mountains and also understand that prepare could include things like fitness training for the terrain and hiking gear for fall weather. Then, it's able to surface useful insights based on its deep knowledge of the world. Here, it's highlighting that Mount Fuji is roughly the same elevation as Mount Adams, but fall is the rainy season on Mount Fuji, so you might need a waterproof jacket. It would also give you pointers to go deeper on topics, like how to prepare the right gear with articles, videos, and images from across the web. Now, a huge limitation of accessing information is the language it's written in. If there are insights about Mount Fuji in Japanese, you might not know they exist if you don't search in Japanese. But MUM can transfer language across multiple languages to give you a richer, more comprehensive answer. But it doesn't stop there. Because MUM is multimodal, it can understand different types of information simultaneously. So now imagine taking a photo of your hiking boots and asking, can I use these to hike Mount Fuji? MUM would be able to understand the content of the image and the intent behind your query, let you know that your hiking boots would just work fine, and then point you to a list of recommended gear in a Mount Fuji blog. While we're in the early days of exploring this new technology, we're excited about its potential to solve more complex questions, no matter how you ask them. But we're already finding other ways to apply AI to bring you new information. Take Google Lens, which lets you search what you see from your camera, your photos, or right from your search bar. Around the world, people use Lens to translate over 1 billion words every day. This translation feature has been especially useful for students, many of whom might be learning in a language they're less comfortable with. So now, thanks to our Lens team in Zurich, we're rolling out a new capability that combines visual translation with educational content from the web to help people learn in more than 100 languages. For instance, you can easily snap a photo of a science problem, and Lens will provide learning resources in your preferred language. Let's take a look at how a student in Indonesia is using this new feature.
Nama aku Siti Hutisa, dipanggil Mamai. Aku kelas 9 SMP. Tentunya aku ingin menjadi ahli bahasa dan seorang dosen bahasa Inggris. Tapi kegiatan belajar di masa pandemi ini, untuk aku sendiri agak lebih susah. Orang tuaku juga tidak bisa bahasa Inggris. Jadi, mereka tidak bisa bantu aku kalau kesulitan.
Dia tanya ke orang, ibu kurang paham.
Google Lens memudahkan kegiatan belajar di rumah. Misalnya aku mendapat tugas pelajaran matematik yang bertuliskan bahasa Inggris. Gak hanya translate, dari situ aku juga bisa terhubung dan langsung mencari tahu apa terjemahan dan solusi untuk mengerjakan pelajaran matematika itu. Untuk saat ini aku sedang berusaha keras untuk belajar lebih tekun, lebih rajin. Saya mau menggunakan pengetahuan saya untuk membantu masyarakat. Saya mau jadi anak yang membanggakan orang tua.
Ya senang, Ibu senang sekali belajar tidak pantang menyerah gitu.
It's always inspiring to see stories like Mamai's, and it brings to life the power of visual information, especially for learning. That's why we brought augmented reality to search 2 years ago at I/O to help you explore concepts visually up close and in your space. You might remember the shark that joined us on stage. Last year, when many of us first started sheltering in place, families around the world found joy in AR. From tigers to cars, people interacted with this feature more than 200 million times. Now, we're bringing some of the world's best athletes to AR so you can see how they perform some of their most impressive feats right in front of you. Beginning today, you can see how Megan Rapinoe juggles a soccer ball or how Naomi Osaka pulls off a 125-mile-per-hour serve. You can even see Simone Biles land one of the most difficult combinations ever completed. We recently caught up with Simone to get her reaction to the AR version of herself. Let's take a look.
So first you're gonna go to Google search. And search yourself. Okay, Simone Biles in 3D. And then you're gonna view in your space. You gotta scan the floor. So let's scan the area. Ooh, and she's here. That's yourself. Oh my gosh. She goes for the triple-double. This is very accurate. I see all the details that I need to get back in the gym and work on. Nails it. That one, yeah. Simone Biles double-double dismount. Pops up anywhere.
Wow, look at that.
Okay, let's turn her so we can see it from the front.
It sounds just like you're in the arena.
Go down to 5%, little one.
Oh,
There she is.
Itsy bitsy Biles.
That's the smallest triple-double I've ever seen. We need to start competing in AR. It's much simpler. Saves the nerves.
No matter how many times I see that, I still think it's pretty incredible. Innovations like MUM, Lens, and AR are part of our quest to make information more helpful. But information is only helpful if it's trustworthy and reliable. The world is constantly changing. Getting access to reliable information is particularly critical during times like the pandemic or breaking news. It's in these moments and so many others that people turn to Google. At our foundation, we design our ranking systems to prioritize high-quality content. And for critical topics like COVID, we elevate information from expert sources. People come to Google to evaluate claims they've heard, whether that's in conversations with friends or something they read about online. Over the past year, searches for, is it true that, were even higher than how to bake bread. And that's saying something, given last year's sourdough craze. We're building features that make it easier for you to evaluate the credibility of information right in Google search. One of the ways we're doing this is with About This Result, a feature we launched earlier this year that makes it easier to check the source. Just tap the 3 dots next to the search result to see the details about the website, including its description, when it was first indexed, and whether your connection to the site is secure. This context is especially important if it's a site you haven't heard of and want to learn more about it. This month, we'll start rolling out About This Result to all English results worldwide, with more languages to come. And later this year, we're going to add even more detail, like how the site describes itself, what other sources are saying about it, and related articles to check out. This is part of our ongoing commitment to provide you with the highest quality of results and help you evaluate information online. When we understand information, we can make it more helpful to you, whether that be information on the web, from your camera, or from the billions of places in the physical world. And to hear more about how AI is powering our most helpful map ever, here's Liz.
Thanks, Prabhakar. We're constantly working on new features to make maps more helpful for the more than 1 billion of you who use it every month. Advances in AI are helping us reimagine what a map can be. This year alone, we're on track to release more than 100 AI-driven improvements to give people richer and more contextual information about the world around them. Let me share just a few examples. We've seen how helpful AR can be to see how athletes perform the most impressive feats. 3 years ago, with Live View in Google Maps, we were the first ones to use AR at scale to help see where to go, with signs and arrows overlaid on the real world. Today, we're still the only company who has AR navigation and maps in more than 100 countries, from big cities to rural towns. So far, though, Live View has been focused on navigation to help you easily get from point A to point B. But now you can also use it to explore the world around you. You'll be able to access Live View right from the map and instantly see details about the shops and the restaurants around you, including how busy they are, recent reviews, and photos of those popular dishes. This is possible because we match what your camera sees, with millions of businesses sharing rich information on Google Maps. In addition, there are a host of new features coming to Live View later this year. First, we're adding prominent virtual street signs to help you navigate those complex intersections. Second, we'll point you towards key landmarks and places that are important for you, like the direction of your hotel. Third, we're bringing it indoors to help you get around some of the hardest to navigate buildings, like airports, transit stations, and malls. Indoor Live View will start rolling out in top train stations and airports in Zurich this week and will come to Tokyo next month. But AR isn't the only way we're bringing a whole new level of richness to Google Maps. We've heard from many of you that you'd like to have more granular information about your surrounding. That's why we're bringing you the most detailed street maps we've ever made. Take this image of Columbus Circle, one of the most complicated intersections in Manhattan. You can now see where the sidewalks, the crosswalks, the pedestrian islands are. Something that might be incredibly helpful if you're taking young children out on a walk, or absolutely essential if you're using a wheelchair. Thanks to our application of advanced AI technology on robust street view and aerial imagery, we're on track to launch detailed street maps in 50 new cities by the end of the year. Having access to rich information is useful, but it can also become overwhelming. So we're making the map more dynamic and more tailored, highlighting the most relevant information exactly when you need it. If it's 8 a.m. on a weekday, we'll display the coffee shops and bakeries more prominently in the map. While at 5 p.m., we'll highlight the dinner restaurants that match your tastes. You can see which places you've been to and get more suggestions for similar spots with just a single tap. And if you're in a new city, we'll make it easier to find those local landmarks and tourist attractions right on the map. You'll start seeing this more tailored map in the coming weeks. And as you're planning your day, people have found it really useful, especially during this pandemic, to see how busy a place is before heading out. Now we're expanding this capability from specific places, like restaurants and shops, to neighborhoods with a feature called Area Busyness. Say you're in Rome and want to head over to the Spanish Steps and its nearby shops. With Area Busyness, you'll be able to understand at a glance if it's the right time for you to go, based on how busy that part of the city is in real time. And as you heard before, we use our industry-leading differential privacy techniques to protect anonymity in this feature. Area Busyness will roll out globally in the coming months. So that was a lot. To recap, we are expanding our Live View capabilities, making maps more detailed and tailored, and showing you how busy certain areas are to help you make sense of the world all around you. All of this is possible because of our deep, deep commitment for over 16 years to build the world's most helpful map for people everywhere. That means mapping roads across more than 60 million kilometers, listing more than 1 billion buildings, creating a community of over 150 million local guides, and finally, applying the most advanced AI technology, all so you can have the most accurate, comprehensive, and detailed map wherever you live in the world, on any device, Android or iOS. Access to rich information is crucial, whether you're exploring a new neighborhood or trying to get things done. And over the past year, that's increasingly meant turning to Google to help you shop. To tell you more about how we're making it easier to shop online, from inspiration to action, here's Bill.